You're like, well, no, it's everybody else's fault. This isn't what I did bringing all this on me. And this is the huge issue that goes on throughout Jeremiah's opportunities to speak on behalf of Yahweh to the people, is to get them to see, yes, you've done this. And yes, you can fix it. I mean, that's really all Yahweh wants us to understand, basically from Genesis to Revelation. You caused your problem, you can own it, repent of it, and fix it, and things will go well. You got this with the very first problem happening, well, not the first, but the second problem with Cain, right? He said to Cain, he says, if you do it right, won't it be well with you? Right? Yeah, you didn't make the offering the way I wanted you to. All right, so fix it. So what did he do? His own evil instructed him, and he killed his brother instead. Because our default is rather to point the fault at somebody else or something else or anything else but ourselves. Return, O backsliding children, I'm going to rule over you. Is that a threat? No, it's not a threat. I'm going to rule over you. He says, this is the plan what the plan has always been, for me to rule over you. What is the problem they're having? Self-rule. They backslid to self-rule. That's moving backwards. To elevate, to move forward, is to go into Yahweh rule. Elohim rule. It's falling down and backwards and backsliding into self-rule. The evil is a good thing. What do you mean? Because the evil gets you to deal with unclogging your ears and wiping open up your eyes and softening up that heart. It takes suffering to fix that. Think of it in your actual body. If your artery started thickening up and your hearing was a problem, you start suffering, you then eventually get to the point where you suffer enough where you go to try to fix it. Okay? Is that not the case? I mean, your hearing goes a little bit, maybe you don't do anything, okay? It gets to a point where if your hearing loss goes bad enough, you will do something. Or your vision goes bad enough, you will do something. Your health gets bad enough, you'll do something, but there's a level where you won't. And so sometimes we are in our pride, ego, whatever, fear, whatever's motivating us, will not do what needs to be done unless we suffer enough. He says, and take away the foreskins of your hearts. Oh, well, I was always taught that God was going to do all this stuff for me. He's going to send you the shepherds to feed you with the knowledge and understanding on how to do it, if you're willing to listen to them. But you have to do this. The hardest thing I think that may be to overcome, coming from a Christian background, is the idea that you actually have to do anything. That is the most evil that they teach you. Because so many suffer because they think it's all just going to get handed to them. The total disempowerment of people because all the bad stuff the devil did and all the good stuff the Messiah did, so therefore none of it's on you, except the idea that you had to just simply go, I accept that he is. All right, good for you. Right now you're a slave to all the nonsense in your life. All of it has you running around and controlling you. Okay? When you work in a place you don't want to work, do the things you don't want to do, and have somebody control how much you can eat, how much you can spend, what kind of entertainment, because they're choking everything that you can, then you are a slave. If you can't do what you want, when you want, as much as you want, you are a slave. Okay? So don't think, oh no, I'm a free man. Really? So you could just not go to work tomorrow if you don't want to? You're not a free man. You're a slave to that boss. Oh, no, I'm not. Well, then you're a slave to the bills you have to pay, so you're willingly slave to that boss. I'm not trying to pick on all of that. We are told that life is slavery to some degree. He says you are a slave to whom you serve, whether you're going to serve the Almighty, in which case serving him brings you all the blessing. When you serve everybody else, all you are as ever is miserable or temporary joys. What does it mean, circumcise the heart? It means you have to cut away the things that are in your emotional makeup and your preferences and your wants and your desires that are inappropriate, that aren't going to get you in line with him. You got to cut those things out. Look, when you came into this, you all recognized to some degree, okay? Maybe not to the fullest degree, that there were things you could no longer do. Just like when you got married, if you got married, you realize there's things I can't do anymore. I'm not single. I'm not even talking about like sleeping around with other people. I think there's just things that as a single person in your house you could do that now you have another person in your house, you just can't do them like you did before. Whatever they were, because you now have a relationship change. Something has actually changed. You came into the relationship with Yahweh, you realize, I can't do certain things, and I can't eat certain things anymore. I have to keep different days. There's things I can't do anymore. And that's a cutting away of something. Why is this lion coming against Jerusalem? Because they were ripe for the picking. They had given up their strength. Their strength was their relationship with Yah. They were visibly and clearly without covering. Right? So the lion came and said, we're going to just come in here and take this land. So whose fault is all that? Israel's. You know, we talk about this, and you can talk to Elder Billy about it too, because he was a police officer back in the day, but most of the crime that happens, at least historically, happens to people that look like a victim. Because the criminals are looking for victims. They're not looking for people that are going to be a problem. They're looking for the easiest way they're going to get going. So if they want to rob you, the muggers, they're looking for the one that's going to be no problem. They're going to look at you, you're going to freak out, cry, and hand them anything. When are you going to keep thinking to do all things your way, the wrong way, the self-sovereign way? When are you going to realize it's just never going to work? I've had to literally in counsel look at people and say, are you done being foolish? Are you done being stupid? And listen, I've said that like 27 times, so don't think I'm talking about you, okay? At what point are you going to have you had enough? And realize I need to not just do it my way, it doesn't work. At some point you have to get that. I mean, one of the definitions of crazy, right? Keep doing the same thing, thinking it's going to be different in a result, and you keep getting the same result. I'm like, you got to learn your lesson at some point. Of course, we watch Israel make the same mistake over and over and over and over again because we are stubborn people. It's hard to get through that thick skull of ours and that stiff neck. See, the problem is when we do what we do, we still think there should not be a consequence. And we're angry with look, when you speed and then you see those whoa, 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 whoa lights and everything, you are not mad at yourself for speeding. You're mad that you got caught. And you're trying to figure out how you were distracted so you didn't see. Tell me I'm wrong. Okay? Or you blame the person next to you who talked to you and distracted you so you didn't see. They're not the reason you were speeding, but you think you should have figured out a way to avoid the consequence of your actions. And so you're mad for being busted, not because you did something wrong. You're mad because you got caught. Same thing here. Oh, they're coming and now we're all sad. Yeah, but are you going to change? That's why he told them, he said, look, yield to Babylon, go, learn your lesson, take your punishment. Evil often comes out of foolishness and stupidity. Isn't that almost always the result? When you do something stupid, something goes bad and harm and ruin and destruction and suffering. You hear somebody going, oh man, and you go, what happened? Never mind, I did something stupid. Right? You know that. You're like, oh. Your wife catches you or your husband catches you, he says, what's the matter? No, never mind, I did something dumb. What'd you do? Well, I did this thing and then I cut myself because it was dumb. I shouldn't have done it that way. Because you know you did something dumb. You just thought you could get away with it, see? You knew how many times you do something, it blows up in your face, and you knew that could happen, but you thought I could get away with it. Right? But you did it anyway. That's foolish.